dies. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so today we're going to talk about textures, which for me was really scary, like really intimidating to get nice textures on my objects. I did not know how, and I just felt like all of mine looked really like basic and low poly and just poor quality, everything. And this one little thing that Rustan taught me, it was like a game changer for me. Really changed how I build, how I create stuff. And having said that, I am not very good at this. Like other people are baking and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I just kind of do it like I know one way to do it, and I kind of do it like that. Um, so we are going to work from basically, over the next few weeks, I want to be building this Winterfest scene, but I want to do it like in a way that is beginner friendly. So I'm gonna start with my basic scene, because I'm gonna assume that you guys maybe, haven't done Blender a lot. Basically, start from the beginning. So when you're here, you're going to highlight all this, hit the X key, and delete it. I need to go get an object from my main scene that I'm building for the Winterfest, and I'm going to bring it back here. And I'll show you why I'm going to do that instead of building there, which I could build it in this giant scene, but it is so big, I kind of, so you guys are getting like total alpha, total sneak peek right now. You can see what I've said before, that I've got like stuff sitting everywhere. I got pieces over here, pieces here, there's a railing there, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there. But then this is the nuts and bolts. I mean, look at this thing. It's huge. Um, to be honest, only this much of it is my working scene, and you can see how many keyframes I've got. It's kind of an insane amount of stuff that I've got going on. And so this is a lot. This is like kind of how my brain likes to work. However, when you're working with tiny, 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 tiny little pieces, you can see what I'm having to do. I'm having to zoom way up. And actually, this is it. This is as far as I can zoom up. Um, I think I can't even zoom, yeah, back. Like, so if I really wanted to get into the details, having my assets in a huge scene like this, it's kind of really like pain in the butt, cumbersome. So what I'm going to do is build outside of the scene and then bring it back, which for me, it just lets me get into some like way more detail. And what I want to build today is like a ski patrol hut. So in the Winterfest scene, we've got gondolas, and yes, they are animated. So there you go, more sneak peek. But if you're skiing and you get hurt, you have to call the ski patrol. So what I'm going to do up here, where you can see this roof, I'm going to try to use this as kind of the beginning of a ski patrol hut. I've also had to build the scene in many, many pieces because it's so big. I think it's 35 parcels. So it's, for one thing, when I load it, it's loading really, really slow and tedious, and it's difficult to move it around. So the part that is taking the most is right over here. You can see all these individual pieces. There's some ways that I could optimize that and make it easier also. So there's like multiple things that I'm doing to make this work. And one of those is that I'm building this separate. I will probably deploy it with this main ski slope scene, but I'm building it separate from all the other houses just so that I can take some of the load away. So I'm going to like highlight these, trying to make sure I don't skip a step. Highlight, right click, copy, and then I'm going to go back to our other blank document. Or actually, you know what I should do is have this slope. I should have this slope with it, because that way I know like I can like mess with the snow. So copy those, go back, and then right click, paste, and then all I have is this to work with. It lets me zoom in. So like, remember on the other one, I couldn't zoom in further than that. If I needed to like, look at the nails on the boards of this room. I can zoom in super close, and then when it's time to deploy that, I do the same thing. I copy, I paste it back into the document. So that's like one nice thing just to kind of get, a way to get around huge scenes. You've got to have something like that to start. Okay, so I have like basically the roof made, and I did this because I kind of need to know like how, I need to know how big I'm working with. I'm just gonna jump back. Yay, good. Okay, you guys can see me. Awesome. Sorry, it's just gonna be a little weirder today than than normal. But if you have questions as we go, save them, and then at the end we will check them out. Okay, so these textures right here, you can see this is the roof of the building. And then since we're in the snow, the mountains, we have snow on top. So all I did to get this was Shift A, cube, and the cube is going to spawn in down below. So when you're working with big scenes, you gotta, you'll spawn something in, and then you'll be like, where is it? Where is it? So there we go. You can do so much with a cube. This is all I did for these guys, is just, have a cube to start. I need to put walls on this. I actually want like a nice big log cabin, so I might have to make this bigger than I had. But I'm just gonna kind of guess what size would my wall be. So I'm gonna make it about that thick and stretch it out. I love the aesthetic that I'm doing for the winter scene. However, there's a log cabin that I made years ago, like one of my first builds, and I love the vibe or like just the feeling of it. And to be honest, I'm kind of trying to get that feeling here. Like, I really think that would be cool. And I want this to be above everything else in the scene. So I'm going to bring it up. Even though I don't know how people will get to it, I'll have to make stairs or something. But from this, I want you to be able to look down and see everything. So there we go. We've got a wall. I'm kind of trying to make sure it doesn't go over the edge, although I can make those adjustments later. And now I want it to look like a log cabin texture on the side of this. So before I go further, actually, I shouldn't have even gone this far. I should have put the texture on first, because in my mind, cubes, when you first get a cube in, you kind of think you know where the front is and the back. And actually, yeah, I should have done this first. Hopefully, maybe I got it right. I'll show you in just a second. So if you just bring the square in, you haven't done anything to the texture. If you go down to this little red circle that says materials and click on that, right here, it's going to show you all of the materials on your scene. And it's going to have this, which looks white. This is actually kind of like misleading. And when I've made wearables before, I've published them with this as one of my materials, because to me, this looks white. And it was the Santa hat I did at Christmas time. It looks white in this scene. It looks, well, kind of gray in this one. But then after I published it, they were like, well, it's really dark. And I realized, oh yeah, it doesn't have texture on it. It's just this default, which is much different than having a white texture. So this one right here is actually like an imported texture. Doesn't look the same. So it's a white. And I could change that by going into this right here, base color. I could make it like dark. I can make it black. I can make it white. Now, when you do that, since this color is also controlled by these up here, you can see they're all changing at once. So sometimes I've gone in and been like, well, I only want the wall. I only want the wall to be that color. And I have to remember, like, okay, this up here should be white, this should be white, this should be a different color. So sometimes you run into that where you're like, oh, I only meant to change it for one, and now it's changing it for all of these. But let's make that a nice, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to change it in just a second. We want the roof to be white, but we want this to be a log cabin. Okay, so you can just mess with base colors like this, and you just click here. You just change, whatever you want it to be. I think brown is actually kind of hard to get, like a nice brown. but it's all one color. It's not very like detailed. There's no shading on it. So sometimes, like at first, that's great. That's what I used for a lot of different stuff for years. But now I want to like evolve and get to the next stage. All right. So what I'm going to do, I don't need anything on there. So I'm going to remove that, make sure I'm clicked on this, and then I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to go to base color, image texture, and then you'll see nothing happened. It's okay. I'm going to go to open, and then I'm going to find my texture that I want. And then hopefully, usually I do them all ahead of time. Although I didn't know I did. Here we go. Olympics. And I'm going to see very quickly. There it is. It's a log. So that's good. It's a start, but I want them to be sideways, like a log cabin. So this is where like knowing at the beginning when you make your cube, like where does that fit? So I'm going to make sure that I click on my asset, go up to object mode, go to edit mode. And now you're going to want to make sure that you're highlighted on the whole thing. If you're not, make sure you are. That one did. Then go up to UV editing and zoom out. And now this is going to default your scene all the way back to it's all gray. You can't see any of the textures. So once you get here, you kind of have to set up your scene again. I always like to, show this as small, show this as large. But if you remember from last week, there's a little part that we got to go do over here. It's kind of annoying. Like every time I go into this, you have to do that again, and you have to like pull it back. I don't know. It's just kind of like a pain in the butt. It's kind of like, why don't they set that as a default? But now you can see you've got a good view over here. Get it kind of where you like it. And then over here, you have basically unwrapped your item. Now, if you're doing wearables and you're doing crazy stuff, you're going to have to unwrap a lot, and it's really crazy. So I suggest start with a cube because, there's 6 sides of a cube, and it's pretty easy to deal with. So the first thing you're going to do is highlight all of this. And then as you move it over here, if it's highlighted, you'll see it on the right. Yeah, there you go. Pretty easy. I don't like rotating over here. To me, it is really hard to rotate it and get it perfect because you can see there's a little bit, like it's a little higher over here than it is here. So I don't like that. I would rather go back and rotate this. I feel like this I can deal with, and it's so much easier than doing it in object or like edit mode. So I came back into object mode, I'm going back into edit mode. Got to click here to get back in there. As you go on, this is going to be really like second nature, but for now it is kind of like I don't know, you gotta go back and forth with it quite a bit. All right, so I still have those highlighted, but you can see I'm only showing up like a little bit. It's actually a close-up. Now, each one of these is a side of the cube, and I would challenge you right now to try to find which one is it that's on the cube. Like I can see a little knot of wood, not up here, not up here. There's a knot right here, but I think it might be here because there's a knot here and a knot here, a knot here, knot here. But then there's also this down here. So I kind of think that this right here is the piece that we're seeing. So that's kind of what, like, only pay attention to that one now. If we move it right over this big guy, we'll know that's it. Yep, that's it. So this one is essentially like what I want to be looking at. I could just highlight only that one, but I want like the inside to look good too. All right. So when you're here, go to the resize tool, and then if you hit S for size, it'll start playing with it. And like for me, I would just like I would tell you just start experimenting because it's kind of like counterintuitive. If you want more detail, you go in. If you want less detail, you go up. And don't let it flip upside down like that. It's actually reversed and it'll make it look really bad. So you'll have to just kind of mess with it to get it to like the point that you want it to look like. And then you can also resize it this way. See, I'm trying to do something to make it look bad. Okay. Oh, it's a pretty good pattern, so you don't even see it, but oh, there it is. I'm trying to find the seam, like the edge, and it's right there. I can kind of see how those don't add up. So anytime that your square goes off the side of it, that's going to show up as a break. So usually I try to keep it like in this picture without having this little overlap right there, because that's when you're going to get the weirdness that shows up. So if I can get it to look like that, okay, it goes out to this side, out to this side, but I don't see all of my logs, so I need to make it, see, I'm like, okay, is it smaller, is it bigger? That. And then like getting the texture to fit, it's just a lot of this stuff. It's a lot of like boop, boop, beep, boop, like back and forth. And then also making my wall, see how the wall is square? I think if my wall wasn't square, it would look more like natural like this one. So I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna make it kind of fit. There, that looks more proportioned. Even though I gotta decide, is that like the width of my ski hut? Because now this is the edge of the scene, like right there. So can I actually like make a hut that wide? That might be kind of big. Um, so I'm going to reduce the whole thing, bring it back. I'm actually gonna like cut it down into here so that I can see. And then I'm gonna move it into up here. I'm gonna click on this piece because that's gonna take the texture away and just let me see where is it actually fitting with this other asset. Like I don't want it to stick out the end because I can't, it's gonna be sticking out of the edge of the world. Like, and I won't be able to deploy. So it's gotta be pretty flush with that right there. All right, so now I can move it up. I can move it over. Oh yeah, see, I gotta move my roof too. Okay, and now I can go back to the texture. It's just my mind, it's like a little bit easier to see those textures when you're in that other scene. Okay, so there you go. You've got like one wall, and it looks, pretty good. Um, I'd kind of like it to look a little different, but that's okay. So if it's a log cabin, I have to kind of think about how my, log cabin is going to be built. I need this wall to go down lower. So one way to do it is to, sorry, my computer is weird sometimes when you do this. I could make it bigger. However, that is not going to look good. These logs are not like giant timbers. So if they're huge, but the log cabin is small, that's not going to look good. Don't want them to be little baby logs either. So I'm going to get it kind of the point that, looks good. And then I'm going to do Shift D to duplicate it. And then I'm going to bring that down and try to get it to like match up. This texture is from AI, like, so I just was like, give me log cabin texture. Actually, look at how perfect those match up. Yeah, so it's pretty good. One thing I notice is like there's a reflection, and I never realized that I could change that, but it makes it look fake because these logs should be, like they should not be reflecting. Oh no, my fan just turned on, so it's gonna be louder because I think my computer is like dying because of all the stuff. Okay, so to get this texture to look a little bit different, it's thank you to Dr. Drip who told me this. It's actually the specular. If I go over here, still in the materials tab, and let's see what happens if I turn that to 0. Look, boom! It looks like good. It doesn't have some crazy texture on it. Oops, let's see. Specular, yeah. Let's try to see what would happen if I put it at like 9. Okay, if it was 9, that would be great if it was like some kind of hard plastic texture. So like sometimes you might want that. If you're making ice, that might be really cool. But for now, I want these to be like um, dark, dingy, like wood. So that specular really, really helps. I think this is good for the side of the log cabin. And then if I want this over here, I'm going to just highlight both of those. And to do that, I'm going to click, hold the shift down, click again, and then shift D to duplicate. And then I bring them over here. So like you can build really fast once you start, going. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be this slow, tedious, process where I do the same thing. I put the texture on this and then I have to start over from scratch. Try to duplicate as much as you can because it's going to save your butt a lot. I also want to put a back on this, so I'm going to shift D and then I'm going to have to rotate this guy. So to rotate it, to get it to look good, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna bring it right up to another piece where I know it's supposed to fit really close, and it's just gonna help me. So rotate. I eyeball most everything. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but this is a way that I know works that doesn't get into like weird, complicated stuff. All right, so back to the real view. My brain wants to just stretch this out because I know it's the easy way, right? To just like it's the back of the log cabin. But inside, well, for one thing, this is a lot of this is a very busy texture now that we've got so many going on. I don't want it to be like so crazy that you're in here. But I'm gonna put other stuff on the wall, so I forgot. Yeah, it's probably okay. I'm gonna shift D to duplicate that, bring that guy down. And then to do the top, trying to think of how the best way is to do that. I think I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna shift D, bring it up, and then shift D one more time and bring it up. Okay, and now to get rid of that excess, there's a couple different ways we could do it. So my brain's like, how do I want to do this? But I think the easiest way is to use the collider, or not collider, the Boolean modifier. And to get this, the angle has to be perfect, right? The angle has to be right there like that. And I could do like Control A, I could add a cube, I could bring it up, and I could be trying to get it to be just like the perfect angle. I could be like trying to do that. But I think an easier way to do it is just take one of these guys because they're already at the right angle. I'm going to shift D to duplicate it. And now this guy, I'm going to just resize it. I'm going to make it gigantic, actually. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at that. Craziness. Because I want it to like cover up both the bottom and the top. All right, so this is where it helps to get really up close. I'm going to cut it like there because I don't want extra. And to do the Boolean cutting tool, I call it a cutting tool because I don't know what a Boolean is. I mean, I put Boolean in soup, so I don't know why this is Boolean. It's spelled different. I don't need to know what it does. to know that it works. So here we go. If we haven't done this before, this is like a really useful part. So click on the asset that you want to cut. Always remember, click on the piece that you want to cut first. Now you're going to go into the wrench. There's a lot of steps here, so you can pause, rewind, anything you want. Add modifier, generate, Boolean, eyedropper. Your cutting part, and right there you should see that go away, and then apply. Okay? And now if it worked, it's gone. This is a separate piece, so we got to do it again. All right, so same thing. Usually you have to do this so many times. That's why it makes it so easy. So click on your piece, add modifier, generate, Boolean, eyedropper, your cutting thing here, apply. Okay, and now it worked. And since I don't need that, I can just get rid of it. Over here, same thing. I'm going to Shift D, duplicate. I'm going to make it huge, 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 huge. Going to bring it down, match it up. All right, now let's just go fast. Okay, click on the piece you want cut, modifier, generate, Boolean, eyedropper, thing you want to cut, here, apply. Okay, grab this, modifier, generate, Boolean, eyedropper, thing you want cut, here, apply. Okay, and that's literally all you got to do to get this done. So now you've got 4 pieces on the back. You've got some beautiful textures. We could put a window back there. Same thing. We could cut it out with the Boolean. But I want to keep making some textures. Oh, and here's the other fun thing. If I want to put walls on the other part of this now, I just select them all, Shift D, move them out, and we're 34 minutes in and we have, it's like surviving in the woods. We have a structure, guys. We have a roof over our head. We have walls. We can survive the night, maybe. We got to put a door in or climb in through there. But I want to make sure people know this is Ski Patrol, right? Like Ski Patrol's here. So I'm going to add another texture to my scene. So I'm going to make sure I'm not clicked on this, because if I add something and I'm clicking on it, it's going to attach them. That's a no-no. So I'm going to do Shift A, cube, and I'm going to move this guy up so I can see it. And I have a Ski Patrol sign that I made up ahead of time. So before I mess with this, because I think in my head, I know I want this to be the face, but the computer doesn't care what you think you know. Go to Material, New, Base Color, Image Texture, Open, and then find where you're at, Ski Patrol. There you go. So I have my Ski Patrol image, and you can see it's wrapped around that whole thing. So what I used to do is think in my head, okay, this is the front. And then I go do a bunch of modification just to get it to fit, when all I have to do is be like, maybe I want this to be the front. I don't know, just like, it would be so much easier to just rotate this. Kind of hard to explain that one, but you're there. So that is where I want the front to be. I'm going to make this look like the shape of a sign. Right now it's huge. It's the size of a school bus. I don't care. I'm going to resize it in a second. But I want to make sure that's highlighted. Go over to edit mode. And then let's say that let's say that I'm like this, and I've got one face highlighted, but not the back. I want to make sure that I'm highlighting the whole thing. So if I do this and I drag and highlight the whole thing, what you'll find is you actually didn't. There's this piece back here that you didn't highlight. So you could go through and be like front, top, like while you're holding the shift key down, side, this side, back, bottom. Then you could get them all. But there's a really really important, like, I think, hack to try to get all of them. And that's this X-ray tool, because that lets you see through the whole thing and lets you grab the whole thing. And I usually, this was Meister J.S. Stickle that taught me this one. I'm always like toggling between, X-ray, grab it all, and like ungrab it all. So make sure you've got the whole thing done, and then you can go into UV editing. So now is a good, actually, this is like a good way of seeing which square or rectangle is like my sign. And since it's RO, we can see it's obviously this one. I'm like pointing with my hand, but it's obviously like right there. So now you just want to kind of like center it, make it bigger, center, make it bigger. There we go, looks good. So then I have to decide, do I want that white on the side of it? Because it kind of makes it look like a sign. But it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it to fit in there. So that's where I can like size this down. Oh, my computer's being weird. Sorry, sometimes my computer does something because I'm streaming and I can't see it. So if I stop, that's what it is. All right, so like, I'm actually not super happy with that. I should have left more space, but that's okay. What I can do is just grab these two and pull them out. I don't want that white to show up on the right. So then I can, yeah, start doing other stuff. But then if I just grab these two and mess with it, then, it's starting to break the wrapper. So I want to be careful that I don't break the wrapper. Wrappers cry when you break them. Whack, 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 whack. All right, so I'm going to make it look, it's going to make it look better if I go out to object mode, mess with it, go back to edit mode, UV editing, and I like to highlight everything if I'm resizing, unless I know for sure that I'm going to like really change something. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm just going to jump in world, see what people are up to. Are you streaming it from anywhere else? Okay. I can't see the video. No, I'm sorry, but there was something that Sin usually does for me, and I didn't touch base with them, and so we don't have that. So if you don't see the video, you'll have to restart. Sadly not. I'll this later. Okay. Let's see. The screen doesn't work. Oh no. Button that Sin has to push, and usually I bug him on Monday nights to push it next day, and I didn't bug him this time. It's not his fault, it's my fault. But I will be posting this to YouTube as long as my computer can handle all these things at once, which I think it can, but it's like the audio is probably going to be horrible because there's like a fan going in the background, so my computer might be like going on strike after this. Okay, so there we go. We got a sign. It's the size of a bus, so let's scale it down. We just want it to be a small little sign over here telling people like, hey, if you yard sale when you get off the chairlift, come over here. If you're not a skier, yard sailing is how you say people fell, because If you fall when you're a skier, it looks like a yard sale because there's freaking like goggles over here, hat over there. Your ski pole went one direction, your boot came out of your ski, went the other direction, and it just looks like a garage sale, like a yard sale. But I'm a snowboarder, so I don't have that problem because I'm built better. I don't yard sell. I just break a shoulder and collarbone and nothing goes flying. I'm just kidding. Oh my god, I'm gonna get such bad karma. I'm gonna get hurt this weekend because I said that. But no. Skiers get like lower body injuries and snowboarders get like upper body injuries, like concussions, shoulder blades, collarbone break. Um, but I just got to throw a little shade out there to my snowboarder friends. All right, but you can see, let's get back to business here. This right here looks good. Ski Patrol right here. Okay, and this is one thing that I notice on people's builds, and I always did it because I was like, I don't know how to fix it. All these other parts of it look scrunched, right? And so like even the surfboards at La Cantina, if you here, I'll jump over here. Like you can see on the side it's all scrunched. I don't like that. Like it's like it's just poor building, but I didn't know how to fix that. It's because it's getting that image and it's all over. And then it's really bad if usually they used to be upside down and I fixed that part on this side. But yeah, like so what I did is I leveled up. You can see right here it looks nice. And like, oh my gosh, right here it's even pink. So I did not know how to do that for the longest time. And then um was it Mr. J.S. Stickle? I don't want to like quote the wrong person. Um I think it's Mr. Stickle. Mr. J.S. Mr. I don't know. J. Stickle. I don't know. Sorry, Mr. J. Stickle or J.S. Tickle or J.S. Tickle. Showed me how to do that. So let's jump in before I start like babbling about names. It's actually so easy to make this look good. And all you have to do, click on it in object mode, go back into edit mode, making sure the whole thing is clicked, go into UV editing. And this is where you're really gonna like, this is a good one to do this on because you can see Ski Patrol is the only side that should say Ski Patrol. I shouldn't have like this side over here scrunched up and say Ski Patrol. The only one I want it to do is right here. So this part, let's see, let me get it. Sometimes it's hard because I want to see like this screen and that screen. That's where having like multiple monitors would be good, but we're going to work with what we got. So this time, this is good right here. This one is nice. You can see I've got all these little dots, the corners. And up here, it's a little bit different than on this side, but you get to choose. Am I looking to grab lines, corners, or do I want to grab the whole face? And I want to grab the whole face. And what I want to do is hold down my shift and grab all these nuggets, all these guys, because I want to control what we're seeing in those. And now hopefully this works. I'm going to make it so we have a little bit better view of the front where it says Ski Patrol. And then I want to be able to see what's happening right here. So I do not have Ski Patrol highlighted, but I do have all these. And then I'm just going to do this. And actually then it's going to mess up Ski Patrol. So I don't. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. I think I have to do, okay, I think this, no, not that. It's doing something different that I usually don't see. And I think it's because I had the whole thing highlighted. Right? Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So there we go. Let me just think about how to explain this. So click on your item in object mode. What I was trying to do is mess with the faces in edit mode, which I do want to do, but not the way I was doing it. So go into edit mode. Instead of clicking those faces, like going into this, clicking each of those faces, look at how now I only have one at a time. So that way it won't affect the front. So, all right, so edit mode, click the top face, hold down the shift, click the side face, click the back, well, bottom, because I have X-ray on. I gotta turn that off because I don't want to accidentally get one from the front. Squares are pretty simple, but it's like when you're getting into bigger, complicated things. So I have everything highlighted except Ski Patrol, because Ski Patrol is good. I don't want to mess with that. And then I'm going to go back to UV editing. And now I can highlight all those. It's not picking up that one that was like good. And if I did it right, we should see this little part move, but not the Ski Patrol. So now I can make this side of this, I could make it anything I want. I could make that pattern repeat. I could add a different color to it. But what I want to do is only get the red. And so I'm going to like move. It's kind of like funky. The first time I did it, I'm like, what am I doing? Huh? I could make this white, the whole thing white, if I shrink this down. And you're just shrinking it just to get all of it on the same color. Now, if I put it right here, you can see it's dark. You can't see anything happening. But if I move this to like the white, see this? Watch over here. As soon as I get my surface to the white, it's picking up all of that. So actually, I could make the top of this white and all of the rest of it red, because then it would look like there's snow on the sign. But I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And then if I click layout, I look, the whole thing is nice and pretty. It doesn't get that funky weirdness of like seeing stretched images on the side. But I am going to try to do that and see if I could get just this top one white. There. I don't know if that looks cool. Like, I guess if you look at it from the top, you'd be like, oh, that's snow. But what I should probably do is like actually make like little lumpy things that look like snow. Okay, so we've gotten two textures. Ski Patrol, we've got a log texture, and we're at about an hour of the class, so I think that's probably a good place to stop. I had textures to make a fireplace and do other stuff, but I think like this is probably a good place to wrap it up, especially because this is a recording that I'm going to post on YouTube later. So I'm going to jump back over to Decentraland, see how it's going, and yes, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask them, and I will try to help you here. Otherwise, yeah, can post it later. But I would say the textures are so fun. They can be, you can do so much with them, especially like if you have textures that have like natural shading and you work to put it in like the right spot of the build. That's really cool. But jump in there, break some stuff. And this will be a plug to say also for Winterfest, come join us for Winterfest. Like, come build something with us. I think later today, Toxic Tuesday, we're going to talk with Toxic about that, about how you can get involved. But seriously, guys, come join us. I'm going to do, before I go, let's do one more sneak peek, because I feel like for you guys showing up, it's so awesome that you showed up. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Here's the build. And again, here's all of the keyframes that I did, because I'm so freaking proud of this, because we got working chair lifts. We got a lot of stuff going on. But it's going to be really cool. I'm going to hopefully have this chairlift at the top, or the ski patrol at the top. So if you know of something that you want to build, or even like a parkour, or even if you're like, I don't do that kind of stuff, I have an art exhibit, I want to like show off my art, has nothing to do with winter or games, just let us know. and we'll get you in there because this is more just about the community coming together, building some cool shit. If there's something that you want to see built between now and then, let me know and we can build it together here in these classes. Otherwise, yeah, like let's just build some really cool stuff and show it off in the weeks to come. Well, let's see, how do I get back to Decentraland? Oh my gosh, yeah. So Billy says, imagine chairlifts all across the roads in DCL during DCL winter. Yes. I mean, if you can do a chairlift, that also means you can do a tram, you can do a bus, you can do a Lambo, you can do anything your heart desires. So learning how to make those moving animations is like I love it. It's hard, but I love it. Okay, so I'm going to stop there so that my computer can cool off, but I'm still going to be here to answer any questions you have, and then I'm going to upload this and to YouTube later. So I have to like think really hard. There we go. Stop.